What's going on? What's happening? This is New England Cigar Militia Live, Friday, September 25th, 2020. Wish this year didn't happen the way it did, but we're rocking out. We got my boy Sebastien from Cavalier Cigars. He's sitting relaxing back in the green room. We're going to sit back, relax, have a conversation, smoke some cigars, and chat, see what Sebastian's up to, how everything's going through this 2020 madness. So everybody sit back, relax, and enjoy. What's up, brother? What's going on? What's happening? How's your day going?
Right now, not too bad. Finally, with a cigar. You're starting that shit with a kick-ass. How do you go? Whatever starting of the show it is, or whatever it is. I don't know how you did that. You need to teach me that. Looks fucking dope.
Like the emoji, you know, the little emoji. That's my favorite one.
Man, that shit is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
It's like the NFL, you know, uncut.
Yeah, exactly.
So how you doing today? Besides that, how is Cavalier Cigars doing today?
And all good. Just getting burned down slowly but surely. What about you, man?
Good. I mean, I had you on the show. Obviously, the reason why I had you on the show is because I tried your cigars and I really liked them, and you really stood out to me. That's why when I tried your cigars, I was just like, I really thought about it. I'm like, shit, this is a good cigar, and this is like something that I normally don't smoke. And that's why it really stood out to me. It shout out to Sir Lewis on that, because
man,
you know, Sir Lewis,
awesome.
The guy who was like, you have to try this. I know you don't smoke none of that type of stuff, but just try it. Just give me a chance. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I seen the gold logo, like, you know what I mean? And I said to myself when I saw the gold logo, I was like, shit, this is really, really different. I'm going to try it. I looked at the wrapper. I'm very, like funny. I look at the wrapper and I'm like, it's too light for me.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
Depending on what you smoke. Can't make sense.
Yeah. I'm always smoking them heavy duty, friggin' boom, boom, boom. And let me tell you something. After that, so I'm gonna smoke the light one today. This is actually my first cigar of the day. I wanted to wait and enjoy this cigar because I enjoyed this first. But man, I don't know what you call this. I know it's a box press. I'll actually look at the back of the logo. I'm sure you'll know.
That one, the black two. Yeah, black two. That thing is crazy. I just, I love the fact it's like the one thing I just really fucking love with it. It's a little bit of a standalone. It's really an old school Maduro. It's something that is not the way most people would do a Maduro nowadays, and that's really what I loved about that project when we worked on that a couple of years ago. And I was just, getting back to the roots, man. Just no ligero, no seco, pure viso. Just has a ton of flavor.
Dude, it reminds me of a Nicaraguan blend, and you said you're not out of Nicaragua at all. You're out of Honduras.
Well, funny enough, right? We're obviously we produce everything out of Honduras, as you said. But everything we do, everything I blend with ADIN, my wife, everything is around, a lot of different tobaccos, a lot of different areas and everything. And this one is probably the simplest of all in terms of, proveniencias, basically the areas the tobaccos are from and everything. And it's, well, you guessed it pretty right. I mean, it's a San Andres Negra Mexican wrapper and binder and fitter in Nicaragua. So it's rolled in Honduras, but it has pretty much a crap ton of Nicaraguan tobacco in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I tried it. I was kind of shocked the first time I tried it. Like I said, I mean, from talking to Sir Louis, listen, I'll be honest with you. Sir Louis has not steered me wrong at all, dude. And he's And I feel like he's legit like an exquisite cigar smoker. Like I feel like he's above average. Like he goes above and beyond when he looks to get cigars for people.
Oh yeah, 100% agree with that.
Yeah, so it's like he
mosquito just went into my nose. What the hell is that? Okay, Friday. See, Fridays is the last chunk of Friday is starting pretty fucked up. I'm starting breeding mosquitoes now. I don't know what the fuck that is. First time in my life.
Man, that is crazy. That is crazy.
Sorry, I had to cut you.
Hey, listen. It's all good. I mean, nobody expects a mosquito to go up their nose.
Yeah, it was a weird fucking experience. But yeah, no, the you know, Sir Louis and everything, the whole experience and the way you can see. I mean, if you guys see him on Instagram, you see Instagram and just the social medias, you just see the way he is. You know, he really cares about what he tells about and everything, what he looks into, what he recommends and everything. He really cares about the cigars he has, and I mean, there are amazing people like that around, and he's definitely one of them, man. Really nice guy.
So as I said, I'm gonna smoke the standard white label Cavalier. This is the original one you came out with?
Yeah, it was a first core line, first blend that hasn't been introduced, period. First in Europe, before coming here in Switzerland, to be precise. And yeah, that's definitely, it's funny because, as you know, you saying you usually smoke really on the heavier side and everything. That's definitely the mildest we ever did. And it's how can I say that? You know, it's not the classical Habano that you would find either. It's a Habano wrapper, but it's very clear. A lot of people are like, "Oh, is it a Connecticut?" I'm like, "No, it's not. Actually, it has a Connecticut binder, but it just enters in that zone, you know, between Habano and Connecticut, where you have, it's a mild to medium, but it's very complex. It's rich. It has a lot of flavor. Definitely, it just doesn't kick you in the ass. You know, you don't get that nicotine kick or anything because it's literally only Seco and Viso. There is not a touch of ligero in there. So it's just exploding in flavors. You know, that flavor profile just pops and pops and pops, but it's not going to knock you down or anything at all. That was a little bit the you know, when I started smoking, I was born in Europe, in Switzerland, and Europe for a very long time has had a milder palate than the US. It's well, it comes down to one thing, right? The selection that you find. It's changing now, but the selection that you would find in retail stores, cigar stores in Europe, were mainly on the milder side. Of course, a lot of Cuban, a lot of Davidoff, a lot of, you know, old school Dominicans and stuff like this. And again, now it's changing, getting more varied, you get Nicaraguan and on Honduran, and a lot of stuff. But when I started smoking, it was still very limited, and which obviously just brings you to that milder profile. So obviously that when the time came to do that first cigar, when I was living in Honduras, I had that influence of something, if you want, little more on the, you know, on the research of complexity that you can find, that I didn't want the strength at all. It was a really fun experiment. It was really interesting.
So you went from, so you told me the other day when we were having a conversation that you are family owned, right? Family owned Genevieve. How you say it? Rennie 19.
Yeah. So Ryan, RHEIN, Ryan 1905. So 1905 is the year the Ryan family founded that shop, and a couple of years ago I got the opportunity to buy it from the past owner. So it's the oldest cigar shop in Geneva, Switzerland, from 1905, so over 100 years old. It was a beautiful opportunity to get a piece of history like this, especially in a city like Geneva, where, you know, it's one of those capital cities of the cigar world. Geneva is Davidoff, right? So you have that huge historical center of the cigar history and industry that is there, and when something like this pops up, you can't pass on it. I mean, if it comes, you have to take it. So it's basically what happened, right? So now it's family owned. I don't run it anymore. Don't own it anymore.
That must have been a fight for that. You didn't just get that.
No, I just got it actually. It was really funny. So I already had the brand at that time and just started with it. And the past owner, for some reason, had heard something about me, and I don't even exactly know what. And I got a phone call. And I was like, "Yeah, what is it about?" And he's like, "Oh, it's that person from Line Cigars." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, man." I was thinking like, okay, let's I'll pass by and we'll do some business. Let's put the cigars and see if you need something. Or it's like, "Yeah, can you come?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I go there. He's like, "Look, it's confidential, but I'd like to sell the shop. I'm moving out of Geneva, and I heard that you're in the industry. You might enjoy something like this." I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, let me think about it. I'm interested. Let me think about it." And then the next morning, I talked with my family, talked with my now the person that EYLIN is now my wife. That wasn't my wife at the time. And I was like, "Well, that just popped up. What should I do?" They were like, "Okay, yeah, it's just grab it." And so we grabbed it, and I did run that shop with my wife for about two and a half years, and then we moved to the U.S. So I passed it away to my father. So my father is actually owning and running the shop now. But it's amazing to still have that piece of history in the family. It's just amazing.
I mean, that's pretty mind blowing that the guy hit you up. So obviously the guy really cared about his cigar shop. I mean,
yeah.
So he saw you. He definitely was watching you from a distance and said, "This is the guy. Like, I want to sell it, but I'm not just going to sell it."
It was. I mean, I don't even know who talked to him about me. I don't even know how it came along. I just know that he never, and never officially announced the sale, never did anything. The only thing, he just really just hit me up by phone. And I was like, what? I mean, sitting there like, what the hell just happened? It was pretty crazy. I mean, sometimes just shit in life just happens. You don't know how, you don't know why, it just fucking happens. And when it's like that, usually, it means something. You have to go for it. So just went. It was a little crazy, but it just went.
For real. Now, do you have any, do you make like a, every year exclusive or something like that, specific to your shop?
So, well, basically for the shop, we created some side things, which are, shop exclusives and stuff like that. But if you want those, so blended some products, but that are not under the Cavalier brand. It's really just shop exclusives. And we're coming out with, so we're working on something that has been in the works for a little bit. We have here in the US, we have the first exclusive we ever did with Cavalier. It was the USA exclusive. Even though we started with Switzerland and everything, but still. And I've been thinking about having an exclusive for Switzerland, for a regional exclusive for Switzerland forever. I just, sometimes just need to let the time go a little bit. I didn't have that inspiration, didn't have the idea, didn't understand what I wanted to do, for an exclusive. And it somewhere early this year, something just hit me in the face. We were talking to other distributors in Europe and other areas, Canada, and well, just a little bit all over, that wanted that started being interested in a regional exclusive. And I said, shit, I need to start thinking about that again. And it just hit me straight in the face. And well, that's something I think I've never ever said live yet, but we're on the works. We've been on the works for nearly a year now, for the Swiss exclusive, which is basically going to be an A-size cigar, which is fucking stupid to do, but I don't care. It's kind of putting a statement down. It's my hometown. It's where I grew up. So we need to do something different. I can't just do a Robusto. I needed to do something else. So we're gonna have a fucking A-size, and we're gonna have so everything's gonna be in 10 count boxes. All those A-sizes except 5 boxes a year that are not gonna be opened. Which are going to be 50 count cabinets. So those five, very, very special boxes are going to be put aside every year, 50 counts, A-size cigars. So that's going to be fucking crazy. It's going to look insane. I don't know if you can just picture the size of an A-size 50 count cabinet, but just to give you an idea, it's probably fatter than I am. It's fucking crazy. It's going to be beautiful.
It's good. That's going to be one cigar?
50 cigars in one cabinet if you want. So
listen, just when you make that, just put one aside.
But yeah, it's basically here in the US we have, the USA exclusive has 3 sizes plus 1 small batch. But in Switzerland it's just 1 size, 1 blend, nothing else. And we just really wanted to focus on that one, very, very old school kind of size that some people do it for events and stuff, but it's not something that you're going to see in your shop on a daily basis. It just doesn't. Right? It's 9 inches by 47. So see, Churchill is about 7 by 48 ish. Double Corona is 7.5 by 50 ish. A is 9 by 47, 48 more or less. So it's just ridiculously big. So, the ring gauge is not crazy. It's just the length of the cigar. It's literally a 4-hour cigar, something like this, depending on how you smoke it.
That's bananas.
And you can't fuck it up. I mean, it's really something. You need a serious set of skills to be able to roll a cigar like that and have it draw, properly and everything. You need to try to, when you picture that, you just need to think about that roller that has to place the tobacco. Usually, a Toro, even a Churchill, you have your hand and you put your leaves in your hand basically, and you can basically gauge the size with your fingers, more or less with your palm and your fingers. It gives you a little bit of an idea where your Toro is and everything. Double Corona, I don't know, man. You need 3 feet and 2 hands to do it or something. So first of all, you need to get the size right. You need quite a good idea of what you're doing, and then one twist and the whole thing don't draw. So you really, really, really need to have quite a bit of experience to be able to roll something like this. And it's a little bit the idea. We don't want to produce a lot of these. It's really just going to be something. It's that's the beauty of being in this industry, right? You can work on those tiny bitty projects aside just for the fun of working on them, basically, without it's not part of the core product, so it doesn't matter that much. It's more of a, hey, let's do something fun.
I mean, you set yourself aside right off the bat. Now, my question is when you started doing your brand, right? Mm-hmm. How did this come about? Because this doesn't seem like this was a day one thought. This
I wish.
I don't even want to lie. I mean, I don't even want to lie and say the wrong thing. Is it 24 karat gold? Is it 5 karat, 10 karat, 7 karat?
Yeah, it's 24. Simply one reason for it. So 24 is obviously for the people that are not familiar with it. 24 karat gold is the purest gold you can find, right? It's edible gold. So basically, it's the same gold you're going to find on pastries, or some restaurants are going to put it on plates and stuff like that. So it's something you can actually, I don't find the camera. Yeah, you can actually go and, you could eat that, wouldn't make any difference. It's, so yeah, 24 karat gold. And no, it was not a first day thing. I wish.
Yeah, but it doesn't smoke.
No.
Like you could, what's weird about it is you told me your wife is the one who came up with that idea, which kudos to your wife. She's a keeper.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Kudos to your wife for that one. But what I've noticed is when I smoke it, it just almost stays pure.
Mm-hmm. So basically, yeah, that's
taste or flavor or you don't really get no funky, what I mean? That was what I was scared of when I smoked it at first. I was like, I'm gonna funky aftertaste in my mouth, and I smoked it. I was like, holy shit! This thing's staying where it is pretty much.
It actually looks fucking crazy when it goes into the ash, right? So it keeps the form. So the base is really simple, right? And that's the case. Just, I mean, we would never have done a full blown cigar thing, gold wrap or something, because it definitely alters the profile and everything, and that's not the idea, right? We always cared about how we blend, what tobaccos we use, and it really, the profile is everything. So it's more of a question of, for us, it's it's our symbol, it's our brand, it's what it is. It's just that gold diamond. Every time you're going to see that gold diamond, that's us. It's as simple as that, right? So it was to be considered more as a logo or a band than just a simple gimmick or something. Might be looking a little gimmicky, but it's fun. Doesn't, you know, it's the thing is, so gold basically is the burning temperature of gold is in order to be able to melt gold, you have to push it to temperatures tobacco is burning way lower than that. I mean, and what that means is that the gold actually stays completely intact and will just crack a little bit because of the ash cracking, but you're gonna find the exact same shape just sitting on the ash once you smoked it, and it doesn't affect, you know, it doesn't affect it's basically, as it's not melting, it's not reacting or anything, it's just sitting on there. And I think it looks really fucking cool, especially when you're at night, you know, and you're smoking late and you have that like reddish orange glow just under that's like gold window, if you want. Looks really fun. Yeah, but yeah, that was awesome. My wife killed it that day. I mean, and I'll always remember it. So yeah, for the little story, you know, we started the brand just with the regular presentation, you know, just a paper band and everything, and it was going well. We started in Geneva and expanded a little bit to Switzerland and then across Switzerland, and then started getting interest for the US, for Germany, for Austria, for Holland, and but the cigar was still, that was when that interest started coming. The cigars were still just with the regular band and basically looking very classic, if you want. And we had that thought process, you know, and the idea, the question that we were asking ourselves at that point was, look, there are so many different things everywhere. What does make the difference? How do you show that this is you? You know, what is it that you do that is not the same as everybody? And on top of that, how do you do it in a way that people recognize it, remember it easily? And whether they like it or not, because that's always going to happen. You can't, I mean, if someone finds a way to do something everybody likes, please tell me, because that'd be a great thing to know, right? It's you just can't. You know, some people are going to hate, you know, some people are going to love it. Oh yeah, just what it is.
You're gonna have your, not to interrupt you, you're gonna have your haters, you're gonna have everything.
Oh yeah.
But the one thing I want to say is, forget the gold plate on it, right? Scratch that gold plate off it. It's a great cigar, okay? And the price is not crazy. The price is not, you know, when you get the gold plate on the cigar, you know, you would think that this cigar is your $20 stick, your $25 stick, your $40 stick. You're like, oh my God, do you see that in the corner, that gold box? Like, that's what you would think when you see the cigar, right? Which makes sense. It's a great marketing, right? I paid under $100 shipped to my door for 10, 5 and 5. That's great.
Yep. Yeah, so that was also one thing, right? Well, first of all, yes, we, as I said earlier, went over it very quickly, but we, you know, I lived in Honduras. I worked in factories. I've been literally working and living there for a year before starting. I wanted to know about tobacco. That was really what the whole point was. And you know, things made that the brand happened, which is amazing. But the main thing is I had that need, that feel. I had no link to tobacco when I was younger. I mean, I was no, my family is not from that world, and nobody around my family was really smoking cigars. So it was really something that just caught me. I was like, I really want to know about it. We really want to learn about it. And smoking a cigar, enjoying a cigar was just interesting, but I was missing a part of it. I wanted to know more. So that's why I moved from Geneva to there when I was about 22 years old, right? And before getting back to the presentation, little story, right? When I blend with ADIN. ADIN PEREZ is basically Nestor Plasencia's nephew, one of the family members. You know, not sons or anything, but just on the side. It's someone that you know that has all those roots, that has been working with tobacco now forever. Amazing person, and he's the one that mainly taught me about everything I know nowadays. Been lucky to have other people putting inputs, but he's the one I spent the most time when I was living down there with, and taught me and let me, you know, roll and fuck up tobacco at the factory and stuff by trying. And so everything we do, we really care about what we select. It's you know, and I mean, if you look at simple things, right? We got we're in the first couple of years now of the brand. We've already gotten in the top 25 of Cigar Journal last year. We've got in the top 5 of Cigar Journal for Honduran cigars. We got in the top 5 3 or 4 times with Cigars Lover magazine for Honduran cigars. We got 95s, 195 with half wheel, 92 with half wheel. So for the couple of people that might, you know, care about those kind of things, and it's not really it's just a way people that know half wheel, for example, know that you don't get a 95 or 92 like this. So we really care about tobaccos. But the presentation was a side thing. You know, when you have a product, honestly, you ask me if I could. I love my cigars without even a band, nothing. I could put them in a plain, you know, cabinet box and wood with nothing on it and just have my cigars. I'd be happy. But at the end of the day, it's a product like another, and it has to express who you are. If people want to, you know, if you want to get to the point where you want to give something special to the people, it's not just about, you know, blending. It's also about the experience, and the experience comes also by every brand has its own DNA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that. Sorry, I got a phone call. That DNA, basically, that was it. And so we were looking for months about what we could do. And my wife one day came to me, and she was like, "I got it." What are you talking about? I got it. What are you talking about? She's like, I know what we're gonna do with the cigars. I know what we have to do and what our brand is gonna look like exactly now. We're getting there. I was like, "Oh, cool. What is it?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna put gold on the cigars." I was like, "Fuck this shit, man. What? Why? What?" Well, I mean, we don't blend to cover our cigar and just, you know, disturb the entire profile because the tobacco can't breathe, because, you know, it's isolating. If you cover entirely your cigar, it's isolating the heat. So you're actually impacting, when you have tobacco gold all around an entire cigar, you're going to be impacting the burn, the profile, and everything. I said, no, it's not for me. We're not even going to talk. She's like, no, you know, just basically looking at me like, you don't fuck listen to me now. I was like, okay. She's like, no. You don't understand. And she was actually cleaning up the first designs of the box, of which had gold diamonds over it, and she was taking that off and making them, you know, look more modern, if you want, keeping the same DNA, look more modern. And she's like, people already used to see that gold diamond form around our boxes. It's not going to be there anymore. Why don't we put a gold diamond as a band on the cigar? I was like, oh shit, you know what? That sounds really fucking cool. And just happened to find one of the old companies that still, you know, beat gold and everything in France. Ordered some gold there, brought it to Honduras during my next trip, and we went to the factory. It's like, hey, ADIN, we have something we want to try. And, you know, I think he might have thought like, oh yeah, they want to do a new blend or something. That's fucking awesome. But and that I definitely was lucky he didn't have a gun or whatever the hell he could have had with him at that point, because I took the gold out of my bag and was like, hey, we want to try to put gold on the cigars. You should have seen the fucking look, the way he looked at me. He was pissed. He was like, what the fuck are you gonna do? It's like, no, we're gonna try. And it takes it, you know, I like to talk about the people down there. The people down there, if we have cigars we enjoy, the things we like to smoke and everything, they are the artists behind it. It's the rollers, it's all those people that are the artists behind it, that keep that consistency, that keep that, you know, that take care of the fact that we get those products the way we want it and enjoy it. And at the same level, those people from empaque, so from the packaging side of the factories, you know, the fact of putting that band always at the same level, putting the boxes right and everything. So imagine now having to do that with gold, which I don't know if you have tried to work gold a little bit already or touch gold in like this kind of gold leaves in your life. It's fucked up.
Well, You ready
Flakes
for a
away.
great? So I don't know where it's made, right? So first of all, so if anybody here or Goldschlager. You ever heard of Goldschlager?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
Apparently it's really disgusting, right?
It's not that
I
bad.
don't know. I've never tried it, but I heard bad things.
So I was always on my grind as a young kid, and I was in my brain. I'm always thinking of ways to make money and stuff like that. And I go to the store, and I'm a young kid. I'm probably like 14. Okay, I'm not supposed to be buying no liquor. Right? I walk
I
in and
already like that story.
yeah, I see this thing called Goldschlager, and I say to myself, "Shit, Goldschlager," and I see it has 24 karat gold chips in it. So my brain is, I'm gonna go home and strain this Goldschlager and save all the gold flakes. Okay, so I go home, I put the Goldschlager under my bed. I'm waiting for my mom to go to sleep, so I could go in the kitchen and strain all these gold flakes and start saving them because I think that I'm gonna make money off of this. Like, I'm out of my mind here, right?
That's fucking awesome.
Right? 2 hours later, my mother goes, "Hey, Kev, come here." I go, "What's up, Ma?" She goes, "What the fuck do you have this far under your bed?" And I'm like, well, you're not drinking it. Right down the drain. And that's my Goldschlager story. So, but the flakes, they don't stay when you pour them out. You know what I mean? They disappear.
Yeah. I love I'm going to make money with that. I'm going to drain those bottles. Just keep the gold and resell it. That's fucking crazy. That's probably the best story of the entire week, man. It's literally, it's probably going to make the best story of the month, actually. That's fucking awesome.
And then it's funny, I thought about that story when I first saw your cigar, like immediately, because that's like, it's the same thing. It's the cigar version of Goldschlager. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure about the flavor profile of Goldschlager, but
no. Sure. So, the flavor profile of Goldschlager, I would consider to like heavy duty type, like cinnamon or like Zambuca type flavor.
Okay, yeah, it's probably not for me.
Or like McGillicuddy or something like that, like all that kind of like little combination. But it's a little higher class because it has these 24 karat gold flakes that I could save to make $1 million.
But man, that's it's little things, but yeah, it just it just comes straight back to the one thing: whether you like the product or not, you remember the product, and why? Because the product is different. And then even further, when you talk profile and everything, it's such a personal thing. There are some rules to have a cigar that is balanced, the same way you would have some rules you have when you cook a meal for it to be balanced in terms of flavors, or if you wanted wine to be balanced and everything, or liquor. You have a certain set of rules that you have to apply when you prepare the product, when you blend in the category of cigars, when you blend, with something in mind. Not only I want it to be, in Maduro or something. You need to go further in that. You need to know your tobacco. You need to know the kind of esteli you use. You need to know the kind of criollo, whatever it is. You need to know your flavor profile of your San Andres, of your broadleaf, whatever you use. And you need to be able to put that together in a way that makes sense and that creates that balance. But then again, you can find that balance for you perfect, but then people might like it, might not, and that's with any product, right? And it's interesting. But then what matters is fitting those checking those boxes out. When you got the things right, just need to go with it.
I mean, you really did a great job on these cigars. I mean, as my buddy Mike's in here, shout out to Mike. My buddy Mike knows me. Like, I deathly hate Cubans. Like, he wanted to kill me. I mean, if he'll put it in the chat box. I gave away a Cuban he gave me. Okay, and he goes, "Dude."
Yeah, you might have to go live somewhere else now that he knows it.
dude. Well, he knows. I told him.
Yeah.
You know, but he's like, dude, that was like an $80 cigar, and you just gave it away. I'm like, yeah. I was just thinking I don't enjoy it, so I just gave it away. He was like, dude, I'm never giving you a Cuban again. I'm like, okay.
See, you know, for me, Cuban is like people that only swear through Bordeaux wine. You know, it's if you get the right one, yes, it's good. Like if you get any right one from anywhere else, actually, it's just a question of how people, you know. Well, here it's even more special in the U.S. because people, you know, it's that forbidden thing that makes you want it even more, basically. But I did deal with, you know, when you take the shop, it's the oldest shop there, and I dealt with Cuban cigars. I smoked about anything that is available on market, and again and over and over and over. There's a handful I really much enjoy, and there is a lot of them that just don't hit it for me. Just don't. But it's the same thing everywhere. If I take, you know, if you take Nicaragua as a whole, you're gonna have X amount that you enjoy, and the rest is just not hitting it. And you know, it's that myth of Cuban is the best cigar. Period. Is just it's just a myth. It's just what it is. And the quality nowadays, you know, controls and everything are just not there.
So how much does this Cuban cigar go for? He said I gave away Seri #1 2017 Patagas.
Yeah, it was. If I'm not mistaken, that was a limited edition from 2017 from Partagas. It's gonna if I'm not mistaken, the #1.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think so. If it's fairly long with a second band, I'm not 100% sure now. If it's the one I'm thinking of, Switzerland had it somewhere. But then again, you know, without transport, without whatever it is, and then it depends on the countries, and but Switzerland has to be somewhere around 17 to 20, I think, a stick or something. If you go directly and buy it there without, you know, moving or anything, without having transport or ship or anything, so it can get much more expensive. And then if it comes from Canada, for example, well, Canada has like, I don't know, 200% tax or whatever it is. So it's fucking Canada.
Oh
is
my god! It said
it's
you can pay $1 for this cigar, but 200% tax, guys. So just, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
How do they
no
do that? Like this.
And you know, we have a lot of very good friends in Canada. We have a very good community around Cavalier in Canada. We just amazing people. We this year sadly have not been because of COVID bullshit, but last year still we had that harf with them and French speaking part and everything. It was fucking awesome. I mean, great people and everything. But I mean, the community for cigars there is amazing. People love, you know, good products and stuff, and they smoke a little bit of everything. But I mean, we went to a Casa de Habano at some point to grab a coffee and a cigar, and I was looking. Suddenly, I see all those, you know, things that when I was running the shop, I would have loved to see. You know, that very old. They're hard to find. You have to hand them down. I'm like, oh shit, that's really cool. Let's see. And you look at the price, you're like, what? Did you put 20? You know, I think there are too many zero, or the comma is not the right place. But $100? Are you fucking crazy? You know, that's really what it is. You get probably the cheapest you could find were $30-$40 a cigar or something like this, Canadian, but still, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's pretty amazing. But I mean, that's what I noticed your brand when I seen it, like immediately. Like he didn't, like Sir Lewis didn't really have to tell me. Once I tried it, I was like, this tastes Cuban. Then I said to myself, I went like this, because this is what I always do when I first smoke a cigar. Is I kind of do one of these. I kind of like admire it and like really check it, like, you know, really like quality check it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like went like this, and I just said, this might be the first Cuban I've ever liked. I said, wait, it's not Cuban.
It's not.
I said, but this is exact words what I said after that. this is what a Cuban should taste like.
And
it's not even that's on everything I love. That's what I said to myself. This is, if a Cuban's gonna be a cigar, this is what it should taste like.
See, you just made my day, my week.
No, but that's true. Like I'm being honest. Like, and you could add, my buddy Mike will chime in here, and I literally told him, I was like, this is the only thing that I've liked besides Bolivar, if that's how you say it.
Bolivar. Mm-hmm. Bolivar.
Or Quel Duase.
Yeah, that's a brand that was made for the Seita, with the Seita or something in the French at the time, French.
And those are the only 2 Cuban cigars I've ever liked that I smoked. And I smoked the B Hiki or B whatever you call it. And God bless it. It did one of these. This is what it did in my yard on Thanksgiving.
That's a very expensive one, actually.
Dude, I tried, but it got to like here, and I said, it got the famous commish pitch. I mean, I played baseball, so that thing's going out 70 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? That thing ain't coming back.
Yeah, man, that cigar is beautiful looking. That Behike, the only thing I know is the last one that I bought and smoked personally, that was years and years back now, was when before inflation of prices, because they were still available on market on a regular basis, and I think it was a 54. Yeah, it was, I think, a 54 or maybe a 56. I don't remember. And well, I paid somewhere around 50 to 60 bucks for it. And it was, I mean, when I say plugged, it's not like it was a little hard under draw. It's like I tried to cut a tree, light the tree from the other side, and try to pull on the tree, draw on the tree. That's how plugged the shit was. I was pissed.
What a sad.
It's sad. But no, go ahead, man.
That's the thing I noticed. I mean, with the Cuban, the Cuban cigars, I mean, I went down there, you're talking about like me, and I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because it really like meant a lot to me. It's funny. I was a 14, 15-year-old kid, and I never even really knew anything about cigars, but I always wanted to go to Cuba.
Uh-huh.
Like always, because I love vintage. Like I love like old fashioned. I love like stuff that you can't see on a regular day. You know what I'm saying? And I got older, and when I bought my first apartment, my best friend was like, you should be different. So I put aqua blue on my walls in my bathroom, and I had the places I wanted to go the most in the world. And at the time, the places I wanted to go was Valadero Beach, Cuba, and Waikiki Beach.
Okay.
Hawaii.
Yeah. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, and I had the 2 pictures, and these were 1940s vintage pictures.
Nice.
So my goal was, every time I conquer my goal, I pull the picture off my wall and put up a new picture.
Nice. I like it.
So I actually gave the Valadero away. I still have the Waikiki because I haven't been to Waikiki. So I was actually gonna go to Hawaii, but Hawaii is it's very, very expensive. It's
very, very far too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Every time I've always wanted to go and I think it looks beautiful and stuff. But then you look at, oh wait, how long is it to fly from? Like, it feels like you can go twice around the world before you get there. It's freaking crazy. It's just in the middle of nowhere, but it looks just amazing. I hope one day. It's just that, I think you need to take 2 weeks of holidays or something to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably a very nice experience, though.
Now, Switzerland, right? So Switzerland, obviously, like the vibe I get for Switzerland is, guys playing ice hockey, really, really good ice hockey players. Some cross country skiing, some mountain skiing. But I never got the vibe that you told me. You said it's like one of the most expensive places in the world.
Yeah. So I was basically born in Zurich and then grew up in Geneva. And I mean, if you look it up, both of the cities are consistently in the top 5, top 10 most expensive cities in the world to live in. It's crazy. I mean, it's a very special little country, right? It's stayed neutral. It never entered the European Union. It has a, for the last 100 and something years, that finance nevralgic point of a lot of places for the world. Through time, by being neutral and not being involved in any war and anything and all that, a lot of international, like UNO and stuff like this, big how do you call that? Big groups and big companies and big associations and stuff put their headquarter there. So all those kind of things make just prices go up and up and up and up. And it went from Switzerland over 100 years ago was a very, very poor country. Very poor country. People were leaving Switzerland to other countries around to find jobs, to actually be able to, live. And at some point that thing just switched and Switzerland became one of these, major international finance places. All those huge companies, all those huge headquarters from huge international corporations and all that just popping there. And that, Geneva is like, give or take 500,000 people. That's it. But you're not going to find a home there, a house to buy. If you want a tiny bitty thing, it's going to cost you $1.5 million easy. And then if you want something nice, it's going to cost you $5 minimum. And that's, when you look at those prices, you start saying, I think the most expensive home that's sold in Geneva, so in that 500,000 people city, was about $75 million. So it just, you would expect that from a city like LA. You would expect that from a city like New York or a city like Tokyo or something like this, or Hong Kong. You don't expect that from a tiny bitty place in the middle of Europe, but it's really what it is. It's beautiful though, just beautiful. If you have a chance to go and visit, the mountains, the nature. Switzerland has that very, when you're in the cities, it's a lot of very, old towns and stuff, but you have all those financial centers. But then when you go a little bit out of that, you go to the mountains or, an hour away, everything is old. Everything is old school. You have the guys with their cows out there. You have, there is, you could feel like 50 or 100 years ago sometimes. It just stayed so natural, and that's probably one thing I always loved about the backside of the country. It's basically you go an hour away and you just feel like you just took a plane and moved somewhere else. That's beautiful.
That's how I felt when I went to Cuba up in the mountains there, dude. It was crazy, man. Crazy. People walking by me, and then they got the ox with the old school wagon, half cut wagon with the rocks on the back, and they're like moving 26 rocks with this ox's nose.
Oh yeah, no,
like, his nose got to be killing right now.
Cuba is really much like it's such an exception. It just stayed stuck in time. It's crazy. And as you said, if you like old things, Cuba is very intriguing for that. It's, as you said, you'll see people with, going around on horses and oxes, working the fields. And I mean, there's those 1950s cars and stuff, and it just looks, the buildings didn't change. It's colonial. It didn't change forever now, for 100, 200, years or whatever it is. It's gorgeous. You've been to Pinar del Rio?
Yep.
Vuelta Abajo. When you get up there on that, that green, you go up those mountains in that green, and suddenly the whole view opens in front of you, and you get that green those green rocks, just basically full of trees that just pop out of red earth everywhere. And then tobacco fields. It just looks crazy.
My diamond's starting to come through, you see? Those at home watching. Diamonds are starting
there you go.
Diamonds are forever,
And that's where you can say smoke gold, stay gold, right? You're actually smoking gold right now.
Now the other logo has obviously it looks like it has something to do with Geneva.
Yeah, so the horse and the man, right? The horse and the man was our original logo. So that thing actually happened in Honduras. It's, you know, when I was living in Honduras, working there and everything, obviously you get, you know, you make friends, you start living with, you know, around other people, learning the culture and everything. And one very, very one person that became a very, very good friend of mine, actually, he introduced you to my wife, introduced, you know, he found my first apartment there and everything, just an amazing guy, was, if you want an artist, a painter there, tattoo artist on the side. And he was a huge cigar, you know, big cigar smoker, pipe smoker, but with cigars as well, you know, taco negro. Which is pretty rare there. People don't smoke that many cigars down there. I mean, for people, you know, it's just a general information. It's pretty interesting how many cigars are rolled in Honduras and Nicaragua a year, but people don't have that culture of, on a personal level, really smoking cigars and stuff. But he was one of those guys smoking. So we had that. He had that spot in the center of Danli, which was he had, you know, it had that. He had his tattoo studio up there, and then he had a bar, and then he had a whole wall which was full of paintings and stuff, and he was always getting all those people in to paint and organizing, you know, painting walls of the cities and stuff, of the city and stuff, and a lot with, you know, younger kids and stuff, and I think he was a great guy, and basically we were getting together nearly every night just to go and smoke cigars together. And we started talking, and I couldn't figure out. So I at that point I knew I wanted to go to you know, create that brand, but I couldn't figure out a name, and I couldn't figure out a logo, nothing. And the only thing I knew is Genève had to be on there because that were my roots, right? And such an important city in the cigar industry and in the cigar world. And he basically showed me that logo, the horse and the man. And I was like, I want that. I want that. That's, you know, elegant. It's classic. And it just hit me. And I was like, I need that. And I looked at him and said, hey, how much would you sell me that design for the brand? And he was like, you're telling me you're going to put that on your cigars, on the bands and everything, and take it with you around the world. And at the time, you know, I had no idea where if I was even going to be able to do anything with it. So I said, yeah, that's the idea, but I can't promise anything. I was like, how much you want for it? No, you can have it. Not selling it. You can have it. He's like, take it. He's like, no, you know, when my point of view was fairly simple. You worked on that. It's your design. It's your artwork. I'm going to pay for it. He never ever accepted for payment. His name was David Rojas.
So you had to send him a shit ton of cigars.
Yeah, well, that's the sad part of it. So at the start, if you want, I refused. I was like, I'm not going to use it. I really wanted to use it really, really bad. But I was like, you know, it's not fair. I can't just use it like that. And I at that point, I had, you know, after that, moved back to Geneva, Switzerland. And I was working on, you know, opened the company, started thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to do? And what the hell am I going to do with the name? And the logo and everything. Still couldn't figure it out. And one morning I wake up and well, it was a fucked up morning. I had messages on my phone and everything from Honduras. So I was like, what the hell is happening? I looked at it, and it was actually, he died. It was 30 and 33, 34, 32. He died in a very hardcore crash, accident, if you're in a hardcore crash. Yeah, it was, I mean, that day was pretty simple. I just decided, I was like, you know what, it meant something to him about taking his art with me, and he meant so much to me there because he made, you know, he brought so much to my life when I lived down there. I said, you know what, I'm going to take my friend with me on that trip. And that's basically why I went with that logo. And the logo, the horse and the man in French, horseman in French means cavalier, and that's why the name came from the logo, and the logo came from David, from my friend, actually. So just taking my friend with me, you know.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Now you got me thinking, man. You gotta make a dedication cigar to him, bro.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You gotta make a limited edition.
And David. Yeah, actually, it's not a bad idea. You know, I've always liked to share that story from time to time, but and it's crazy. I still,
you know, you have strong company roots.
Mm.
You know, if you really think about it, you know, everything is like strong. You know what I mean? Like very strong. You got, you know, 1905 brand that you own, and then you got the Cavalier, the guy with the horse that, you know, one of your friends that passed away created with you, pretty much. I mean, you wouldn't use.
Oh, he literally created it. Yeah.
Yeah, that you wouldn't use. Your wife that came up with the diamond.
I'm starting thinking, you know, what did I do in all this shit? Feels like everybody else did something. I feel I didn't do shit. I just put everything together.
Yeah, you made the cigars. You know, you obviously tasted the cigars. Your palate created the cigars.
Oh, yeah, but no, it was more for joke, of course. But you know, it's. I always like to say, you know, it's all about the people that you meet. It's all about the people that are part of the journey, and that journey is continuing nowadays. We're putting new stones on that, you know, on the path of that journey today together, you know, and I'm honored to do that with you today. I really enjoy it. But that, yeah, you know, it's to me, it's all about the people, all about the people you meet in life. That just, it brings so much richness to your life, you know, personally, not just talking business, of course, just, you know, and yeah, every day some people with us. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I mean, your brand's like a fine Italian restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like we got the North End out here, and like you got the landmarks. You know what I mean? Like your brand is I think your brand's gonna be a landmark. You know what I mean? Like I really do.
I appreciate that, man.
That's why I was like, you know, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I was gonna get you on the show. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be, because I don't kiss ass. Like I'm not gonna send you 200 messages. You know, that's just not me. Like I'm just a regular guy. I really became more and more passionate for the cigar community day by day. I just enjoy cigars. I want to sit back and relax and have the same conversation like in the corner at the cigar lounge with you. And that's why I feel like my podcast is going to continue on and continue to be in just like this. And, you know, come back around to those guys who supported me when I was just a little guy, just like how when they were just a little guy. And
yeah, it's, I mean, the whole thing that, you know, that engagement that you have now and everything with the community is really cool, man. It's just, I did enjoy actually when we talked a little bit about it over the phone, when you explained me a little bit how you got to do that, and I think the story is really cool, and the fact of doing it, and you know, in such a short amount of time, it's been making waves and waves, and that's, you know, sometimes things are just meant to be, and that's really what it is. When you really care about what you do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, very touching story, man. That got me today, man. That got me. This band, I'm definitely saving this special band right here. Now I see why that is. I mean, and I'm gonna tell you, right? I already know what the logo on your special band should be. It's a no-brainer.
Now I need to know.
This in 24 karat gold on the side of the cigar with no bands or anything on it.
You know, the fucked up thing about it is that's something, so at some point, we were talking about a kind of crazy idea in Switzerland about a one-of-a-kind humidor with a one-of-a-kind cigar. And we looked with people on how, because, you know, that gold diamond is actually cut by hand and applied by hand in the eye. There is nothing to do it. It's really just the skills of the people to prepare it and put it in a cigar. So we needed to find someone that was able to cut that very thin gold into the logo, and it turned out that we have never been able to find anybody to do it. So
you already had that thought of, huh?
We had that thought, but it was for a one of a kind humidor that we wanted to do just for fun. But yeah, the problem was the cutting and applying of that gold, which with that logo, the diamond already takes about 10 to 20 times the amount of time you would have needed to put a regular band, and it's easy to screw up. And you know, kudos to the people that do it. It's crazy. They just have the skills to do it. It's pretty impressive. But to put something, it's such a delicate leaf that to put it on, to have it, you know, it's different things. Actually, that leaf sticks, so when you touch it with your fingers, for example, it's going to stick on your fingers. So it's very thin, very delicate, so if it sticks, it just breaks the leaf, and it's I mean, you have to restart. So being able to cut that logo in that gold and then apply it by the eye and just the skills of the hand, well, maybe one day we'll find someone for it. Maybe.
Oh, my hand. I got a little. I'm gonna save this. This is gonna start my collection and make me a millionaire.
It's the second attempt after the Goldschlager, right?
First attempt went horrible.
Well, you lost the Goldschlager and you lost the gold itself, which at the end of the day, when you think about it, it sucks pretty much. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to you for like a job putting the gold logos on cigars so I could feel like I hit it.
Oh, it's you know, once it's on the cigar, on the tobacco, we found some ways, and we use one of these ways, natural 100%, to actually have it stick to the tobacco. But and once it's on there, it actually stays. Well, to make it very simple, we use goma natural, so the same thing, same natural glue that you have around the head of the cigar, basically, which is the best way we found to actually have it stick to the tobacco. And it puts it on a way that it doesn't move anymore. But if you take the leaf, so basically every leaf comes in between two leaves. If you take one of the leaves off and put the finger there, you're like, okay, I can throw that leaf away now. It's hard to explain how hard it is, how delicate it is to work with such kind of product. But it makes it, you know, it makes it exciting, trying to do different things.
Oh yeah, it's meticulous. So that's exactly what that, on the outside, that's exactly what that little extra residue that you'll see sometimes. You don't really see it too much, so you guys did a really, really good job of, you know, should we say finessing it? But you'll see like a little bit of like clear liquid on that. That's what that is. That's the natural.
Yeah, it happens sometimes where it's a little bit under. Basically, it's as you say, as you can imagine, very tricky to have the exact size and format. So sometimes it leaks a little bit, but it's the same thing that you might see, you know, on the caps and stuff like that. So
I mean, you
don't have to worry too much.
Those on a Friday.
What?
They put those on a Friday.
On a Friday?
Yeah, those got put on before the weekend. Don't worry, it's the same tobacco, guys. The leaf it got put on a Friday. But yeah, I mean, I've had. I mean, I really enjoy both of them.
I appreciate that.
To checking out and seeing if you come up with any new blends. I saw something that looked like you had gold all the way through the cigar. What's up with that?
No, no, we don't. We don't put it all the way through. It's really just I said really.
No, I mean like a little piece. Or was that just another leaf, like a lighter leaf?
Oh yeah, you mean that? Wait, let me see. I think I have one here. Yeah, I think I know, and I think I not only know what you're talking about, but I think I, as a matter of fact, have still one with me today. Let's see. Are you talking about that?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that is one of the few that I have not smoked yet. So that was an exclusive for Underground in Texas, shop in Texas that wanted something special. So we did double wrapper basically Some people might call it barber pole, but it's not really, because it's a very thin band, a very thin second appearance of the wrapper. Basically it's a San Andres Negra wrapper with a Habano wrapper under it. I think it just, I mean, people went crazy when they saw that. We still have demand of people trying to know how to get them, but they sold, man, those things sold out so fast. So we're working on different things. We might have, you know, further release of these later on, but that was a fun project to work on too. And yeah, we have, so one that I think you have not tried yet is the USA exclusive. So the USA exclusive is the one you're going to see with it's Maduro with
right.
You have, yeah, there is a double Corona, there is a Toro, and there's a Robusto.
I've tried the double Corona, I'm pretty sure.
Double Corona. So yeah, that's the one with the gold.
I'm always
gold
on
paper band.
It's a lot better.
Yeah, it's very interesting. That one is my go-to, the white, and this is my go-to. The USA exclusive is slightly heavier than that, spicier if you want, and on the double Corona has a very deep sweetness. It's a very interesting cigar too, and we have small batch sizes, limited edition once a year, which is actually about to come out for this year. And we have a couple more surprises that were supposed to not be surprises this year anymore, but you know, COVID said hi and decided to stay longer than what we all thought, I think. So everything has been pushed down a little bit further down the road, but doesn't matter too much. Yeah. The one thing is, of course, I mean, for the people of familiar with what we do, we don't have anything that is a powerhouse. We don't blend for strength. I never blend actually for with the strength in mind. What really comes first is what kind of flavor profile I want to achieve, what kind of complexity I want to achieve, and then if strengths comes with it, you know what, it's here. If it's not, fuck it, doesn't matter.
Yeah, so while we're here too, I want to just get this across. Anybody who's watching, there's multiple places, want to support multiple places when we're talking. So Atlantic Cigar is where I just bought my last batch from. I bought some from Underground before. Small batch, you have them on? Small batch cigars, you could buy them on. Cigar Fed, you have like a swag package going right now, I think.
I would have to double check what they're doing at the moment. Yeah, it might well be Cigar Federation.
I'm pretty sure they have like some type of swag patch. You can get a beautiful ashtray from them for like $30.
There is
pretty good. I mean, $30.
The ashtray itself. Yeah, the ashtray itself is
it's $30.
Yeah, easy. Yeah,
that was just a friendly.
Yeah, it's it's there. Wherever you are in the country, there are one or two zones that are for now a little less developed, but most of the country is now pretty easy to find some stuff around wherever you are. And if for some reason your local brick and mortar doesn't have it, well, first of all, we're happy to service them if they want to, and if not, you can easily find another option, usually not too far away.
Definitely, yeah. We got to get you in the New England area a lot more, because I don't think they really.
Funny enough, yeah, we just, that's one of the areas that we just started. So the poor it's an amazing person. So Nick Goss is working this area for us. But so obviously, as you can imagine, COVID also not only put everything further down the road, but kind of fucked up our planification of production a little bit. So we've been basically very heavily back ordered for the last 2 to 3 months, like heavily back ordered. And he jumped in with us during those 2 to 3 last months. So every time he calls me, he's like, "Hey, Sebastien, did you get something? What do you have? Do you have something left?" I'm like, "Yeah, I might have a couple of Robusto or something if you want to try." And so he's starting to work out the whole area, and I appreciate everybody that already jumped on board with us there. Very much appreciate the support. And we're going to have everything back on very soon, where you're going to see more and more shops in your area actually pop with some stuff around.
I'm gonna walk in and be like, I know that guy.
I know.
He's the guy who owes me 24 karat gold flakes.
Yeah, I think the ashtray you're talking about is probably that one, right?
Yeah, that's it's a beautiful ashtray.
You know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you one. I'm gonna send you one. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm gonna send you that with it too. You guys are the first ones to see that we just got these in.
What is that exactly? I can't really.
Cutter.
Oh, dude, what the?
A nice little cutter. And I'm gonna send you a nice little lighter too. No. So I'm gonna send you a little set and everything, and then well, you know what? I'm gonna send one for you and one for you to do whatever you want with. And this way, if you want to share with some people around, you're more than we're more than happy to see it happen. Up to you. I'm gonna make sure to give some swag away.
Give it away. You know,
nice.
I'll give it away. You know, if you're looking out, I might keep the cutter. I mean, I can't lie. That cutter is unique as hell, and I like unique shit.
Yeah, just like the way it looked. You know, I'm usually not much on cutters and lighters and stuff like that, honestly. And but I was looking at trying to find something, and I saw that thing. I was like, man, that just looks different. And I just like that, you know, old black look and everything. And we did a test run, and I just loved the way it looked. So we have a handful aside.
Straight cut. Is that what you usually normally when you smoke cigars? How cut your cigars?
You want the civilized version, or you want the real version?
The real version.
I just bite the cigar usually. I just bite. You know, that comes also back. That's actually a fun thing. It goes straight back to when I first moved to Honduras, right? I go to the factory for the first time. I get to meet ADIN. ADIN brings me to the factory, and I go in there and I start going every day. And every day, you know, I was coming with my cutters, my lighters, my everything I had, you know. And Marvin, one of the quality control managers, comes to me in the second, third day after probably laughing at me for 2 or 3 days, and comes in and is like, "What the fuck are you doing, Sebastian? What are you talking about?" He's like, "You're in Honduras here. You're not in your freaking, you know, Geneva when you're a cigar club or something. You're in a factory here. You know how we smoke a cigar?" It's like, "No." It's like, "Well, you take that one, you smoke it." You know, he gives me a cigar. He said, "First of all, you bite it off," and he gave me his Bic, and he said, "Well, that's your lighter now." And well, to be honest, that's what I use the most. Still, and I still bite my cigars most of the time off. It just stayed. I remember my first event in Switzerland when I came back was in Basel, to be precise, the Swiss-German part of Switzerland, and a couple of years back. And I go into the event, we do the event, great people, great lounge, great shop, and first experience. I'd never ever fucking done an event in my life, and the guys come to me all happy, said what was great and everything. I was all happy, and one of the last guys comes to me and he's like, "Man, that was amazing. The cigars were great, but you can't do that." I can't do what? You can't do that. I was like, "What are you talking about?" It's that you can't just bite your cigar off and use a Bic. You can't do it. You need a cutter and a lighter. I'm like, "Oh, fuck off." You know, it was so funny. The guy was shocked of seeing that, and I would have been too. But you know, when you get in and you live down there, when you work at the factory, I'm sorry, you don't need a cutter, you don't need a lighter. What matters is what you're going to smoke. So I really stick with it. You know, the simple basis: a Bic, my teeth, and that's about it.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I mean, I've only probably bit 2 cigars, but today was actually a funny day. I mean, I was getting down to my little guy here because I ran out of fluid, and I have like 16 of these friggin' things, and I'm like praying that all 16 work together. You know, to like one cigar.
One is for the click, the other one is for the gas, and the third one, if you can use another set of fingers, there is to light the soft flame so it actually blows the torch off or something.
When I personally use this is what I use. Yeah, this is very sentimental to me, this exact one, because when I first started my militia journey, I went to Chicago and I purchased this one out of the the second oldest cigar shop in the country.
Nice.
And it's got the old school vintage look to it, you know, like the bronze.
Yeah.
And this has been sticking by my side, and he's been treating me well. I've lost it about 6 times and found it. But
yeah, that's the other thing. See, I love beautiful objects too, and that thing is really nice. And I, you know, if you go upstairs, to my place, I have that, you know, I have that old, very very old soft flame Dupont lighter, you know, sitting just on the shelf, and I've not used it since I moved to the US. So that means I've not used it since over a year and a half now. It's been sitting on that shelf. I just love that thing, but I'm like, I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna lose this shit. I'm gonna be pissed at me for the next like 4.5 months. I'm not taking the risk. And it's also a little bit sentimental, right? It's a very old piece. It's a beautiful, beautiful. You know, they do such. Dupont does, those old Duponts are just absolutely magnificent, beautiful. But if I lose a Bic, I lose a Bic. Doesn't matter too much. I can wake up the next day and say, you know what? Just gonna go to the gas station and buy a new one. Man, it's. Oh, sorry, I was looking for some stuff here. You know, that whole journey that you started doing. So you told me a couple of months ago, right? When you started, well, through the whole story. I don't know if everybody knows the story here or not, but I really enjoyed that. And every single thing, every single step, I do like the little story with your cutter, basically, because, you know, it's that one first step, entering that new adventure or something. And I think those material little things just bring after, when you look back after month, after years, or whatever it is, it just brings, probably decades, same thing, just brings those memories straight back to your face when you look at it and you say, shit, that's where everything started, right? That's how everything started. And it doesn't matter at this point, the value of the products and stuff don't matter anymore. It's really just the memory of it and the journey that it took you on, and everything, the people and everything is just amazing. One thing that oh, sorry, go ahead, man.
That's what I live by. I mean, I live, you know, like it's all a dream. You know, it's like Biggie said, it's all a dream, and the dreams can turn to reality. You know what I mean? But they all become memories. And, you know, it's just like this little conversation that we're having. We're just, you know, and we talked for a long time, and I didn't know who was going to say hang up the phone first. You know what I mean? I didn't know who was going to say, yo, I got to go. You know, I felt like I knew you for years having a conversation with you, you know? It just, because, I mean, you're pretty much in the same mentality as me.
Yeah.
And, you know, you know, let's face it, you own a very rich brand in Switzerland. You know, you don't expect that to come out of somebody who owns a very rich brand. But the cigar community, the whole cigar community, is like, I continually, and I will say it to the day I die, I go to a cigar bar and there's the trash guy, and then, you know, there's the doctor, and then there's the lawyer, and then there's the businessman, and then there's the guy who bags groceries. And everybody's just sitting there, and we forget about everything. And I do the same thing at work. And if you ever see me walk through work, I walk through work and I equally treat everybody the same. And the reason why I equally treat everybody the same is because when I first started my journey in the hospital, I met this guy. And this guy used to fold beds. And he went from folding beds to working in the emergency department to being the CEO of the same company.
That's pretty impressive.
And that to me is a movie. And I actually had the privilege of, you know, we have like a mayor's meeting, and like, you know, our mayor is not like a regular mayor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the mayor of Boston, you know, one of the oldest communities in the country. And I had the privilege of bringing him to this meeting. And, you know, I had a conversation with him, and my conversation was like, dude, like, you're the man. Like, you know what I mean? This is me. You know, I was making no money at the time. And I literally said to him, like, you're the man. Like, you're the American dream. Like, you worked your way from the bottom, and you are now the CEO of the company. And he goes, everybody has a job. You know, everybody makes this thing rotate. You know, it's like how you have your rollers. Like, you don't exist without your rollers. You don't exist with the guy who's in your tobacco. Like, you're nobody when it comes down to it, till all the parts move in place.
It's, you know, I'm sorry, man, cut you, but I completely agree.
I was done. You go.
Just completely agree with that. You know, there's a tendency of, and cigar is a beautiful equalizer for that. Beautiful equalizer. And I think we all have just, you know, amazing experience with that. But, you know, when it comes out, it just teaches a very simple lesson in life. You know, we live in a society where, basically, people, because of, you know, probably because of just everything you can see, and you can always see that, you know, someone has more, someone is doing more, so you need to do more, you want to do more, you want to become more, which is amazing. But at the same time, you know, everybody is human. It's not because your job is to pick garbage, or your job is being the CEO of something, or you know, whatever it is. It's not that what it shouldn't be defining you. It's not something that actually matters that much at the end of the day. Your job is just a thing you're doing. It's not who you are. It is part of your life, but it's not who you are. And it's actually beautiful to see that, you know, that there are things like cigars that prove it. As you said, you can be sitting down with whoever it is, and it doesn't matter. What really matters is the quality of the conversation and the link that you get with the person in front. Might go, might not go, but I really think it is important that, you know, it's so easy to judge and just start thinking like, oh, you're only this or you're only that. Well, no, that person is, for you and your point of view, maybe just only doing this or only doing that, but doesn't mean that that person is only this or only that. That person, everybody is way more than what they do usually, and that really is, you know, I think it's just something that we all learn through cigars. I hope we all learn through cigars. It's at least something that I learned through it, and I'm actually you just showed me that, well, you just had the same you know, same thought process, same message and everything, and I do like that. I just love that thing. Just love that shit. We just enjoy the same thing, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
That's what it's all about, you know. This is a very unique community, and I mean, the key that I said, you know, that I'll keep saying over and over again with your cigars is they're affordable, but they could make the poor man look rich holding it in their hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you just kind of do one of these, like,
So yeah, one thing I fucking love is wherever I sit in a lounge, I know who is smoking my cigars. Hey, you can't fool me. You can take the paper band off. You can't take the gold off. I'm gonna see you're smoking it.
Yeah, you can't do no blind testings.
Well, that's the thing. It's actually very fucking annoying because we have to plan everything in advance, and the guys come to us and they're like, we can't do blind tasting. Can you please prepare some samples without? So we always have to think about those cigars that we have to order in bundles without bands, because you can't remove it. You just can't remove it. So yeah, you don't know how many times, you know, we were in talk with magazines and stuff, and they were like, we would like some samples without bands, please. I'm like, you're gonna have to wait until the next shipment. We're done. We don't have any. It adds a little bit of it's a little more complicated. You just need to think about a little more. You know, it's just additional things that you can't forget that you have to think about. It's not too bad, but it sucks when someone is like, hey, we want to rate your cigar. We want to do a blind review. And you're like, yeah, I really want that too, but how are you going to do that? You know, the first time was a little bit of a thought process, and we're like, okay, we're going to have to start ordering bundles with nothing on it.
First time was like, I'm not doing
what it is.
Not doing it. First time is like,
you look at them, you know, you don't have a knife, just cut the diamond of it.
Yeah, like flip it around.
Yeah, see, you take the pictures on the other side and say you didn't see what it was.
Oh yeah, great cigar.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, great cigar, enjoyable. I mean, I tend to like stay around like the 5x50 area because I like to smoke a couple varieties in a day.
Yeah, the same thing.
And like I said, I mean, there's not many brands, and and I'll tell everybody in here the brands that I smoke back to back, and your brand became back to back the other night when I got that. I smoked back to back. I smoked 2 in one day of this one, and then I gave 2 away.
Black 2 Robusto.
Yeah, I gave 2 away to 2 gentlemen that I don't know if they're going to catch the podcast live or catch the podcast after, but I wanted to. That was the first time I've ever did that. I gave 2 away so they could say, well, I'm sitting here smoking a cigar that I got for free and listening to a podcast with the guy who made this cigar, which I thought was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Genius idea that it might have been done before, but I mean,
man, I just looking at one thing, I just like, the way you're thinking. It's just, trying to bring value and everything. And, even if nobody is reinventing the wheel anyways, right? At this point, some might, probably a handful across the entire planet or something, but everybody is putting their own little bit of salt and pepper, right? Everybody is putting their own twist on what they're doing, and that's really what matters. As long as you do it, as long as anything you do, as long as you do it and it's part of your philosophy, part of who you are and how you want to do things, and as long as it matters, as long as it has a meaning, it's you don't want to do something just because you saw someone else do it. You want to do it because you think it has a meaning or it brings some value to someone's life, yours, your friends, your families, your whoever it is. It's a question of being true, I think, true to whatever your philosophy is.
Mm-hmm. And my philosophy is we're going to sit here, we're going to have a conversation, we're going to talk, so let's talk. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to, pull out a paper and, write 92 notes. It's I respect everybody who does what they do, you know what I mean? But it's just me, like, this is me. Like, I would be sitting in the bar and, like, the same questions I'm going to ask you as we're sitting smoking a cigar are the same questions I'm going to ask with my community. You know what I mean? And I want my community
Hang
to,
out.
and if they want, that's what it's about. I mean, that's why I do this. You know what I mean? I do this to bring general knowledge to my community that I created, and show people that there's A, great guys who make cigars, and B, great cigar brands out there, you know what I mean, with fascinating stories and, can be just regular people. You know what I mean? Like, I could see you going into the bar and, seeing some guy and this dude walking up to you and be like, dude, wow, you make great cigars. Oh, yeah? Take this one.
As long as I'm not smoking it, it's fine.
Yeah, I can literally see you handing somebody a cigar and be like, well, this is a new blend we're coming out. Try this.
See, the thing is, the entire industry is well, whether it's cigar, whether you go from the consumer to all the way back to the leaf, the seeds, and everything, right? At every step, everybody is interesting. It's an industry where everybody has something to teach, to show, to share. Everybody has a story, and that's not something very common. It's most of the time, and that's something I think it's very specific to the cigar industry. Whoever you sit down with at a lounge or anywhere, you're going to end up, starting talking to that person. And that person is going to probably tell you a life story of his or something at some point where you're going to be like, shit, that's not something I'm used to here. It's not the classical guy that is going to, I don't know. It always felt like this industry was full of people that had something a little more substantial in life to share with everybody else. It's a group. It's like a big family of people that live life a little bit differently and have something to teach, have something to share, have something to give. that's how I see it. I've been seeing it for years, and that point of view never got disappointed, never got where that never proved wrong ever. There's so many things, between the guy that was studying medicine in Cuba and ended up with a cigar factory, or the guy that was born into tobacco. You sit with him, he's in his 20s, and that guy knows more than people that have been their entire life in the industry. And you're like, how the fuck is that possible? And then you just sit down somewhere and you meet that guy that, you never know, the guy that traveled the entire world. I met someone in Honduras that is, him and her were from Europe, but they were backpacking, and they were not just backpacking to backpack. They are journalists. And man, all those stories, you're sitting there in a weird, in a little backyard in DANLI, Honduras, smoking cigars, drinking coffee with two guys randomly from, I think he was from Holland and she was from Estonia or something like this, if I remember well. It's a couple of years ago now, but and you're sitting there and they're talking to you about, the month that they've been spending in Latin America, just walking through and moving their way, and with their career of journalism and everything they've seen and stuff. And you're like, shit. Then I went to Cuba, and then I'm in Cuba and I meet that he was also from Holland. He was his name is Wim. He's an incredible photographer. I mean, and you're randomly, I remember how I met him. It was literally smoking a cigar alone on a terrace in Cuba, and that guy was smoking a cigar alone on a terrace in Cuba, in the same terrace. And he's like, hey, you want to join? Well, hey, sure. Sit down with him. I ended up meeting him again in Geneva, going to France to go and see him in an expo of his. He was coming back from Africa. Before that, he was exposing in Brazil. And you're sitting there, you're like, you know what? If I hadn't been smoking a cigar, I would never, ever have met any of those people, ever. And it's crazy. I mean, crazy. And it's always people that have different kind of, stories in lives, always. And that's just, it's extremely valuable, at least on a personal level. It's very valuable, right? Beautiful life experiences.
Definitely. Now, before I let you go, because I don't want to keep you on too much longer, we've been talking for an hour and a half. I want to have you come back on when you get some and some craziness that you're going to tell me, and you get I know you're going to have a crazy story eventually, being in the cigar community this long that you're going to be in. You're going to keep. I can just see it going like this. I can't see it going any other way, to be honest with you. Too good of a dude, to be honest with you, for it not to go that way.
And I appreciate being here, man. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. I like, since the first call we had, I think we hit it up pretty well, man. Same philosophy. Mm-hmm. Basically, as you say, same thought process.
Mm-hmm. Now, Illusione. I saw that you're distributing through Illusione.
Yeah, here in the U.S., we partnered up.
What is your relationship with the gentleman from Illusione who makes great cigars?
Sick stuff, yeah.
He's like the mad scientist of the cigar community. Hey, that's
put him. Yeah, he is.
He's on a whole nother, He's
been here for what, 13, 14 years, and I mean, Dion is an incredible blender, incredible. Knowledge about tobacco is insane. Yeah, we've been lucky. Illusione has always been a brand that we came into the game quite a bit later than they did, but has always been a brand that I enjoyed smoking. I was always impressed. It was always one of these brands, I was looking at saying, shit, that's really an example. That's really someone that does things with the heart, that does things because he loves tobacco. And that's I mean, it was talking to me, and I just loved the profiles and stuff, what he was doing and everything, what they were doing, because the whole team is amazing. And it just so happened that last year I started becoming very good friends with Brian. Brian is his whatever the title is, somewhere like international sales director slash a little bit of everything. He's an amazing person. I said, you know, Dion has a lot of very good people around him, and we started getting very good friends, and you know, ended up at events together, multi vendors and stuff, and traveled. You know, we share some reps and stuff, so we traveled a little bit together, and just experience after experience, we're like, hey, we're hitting it out pretty well, man. And I told him, look, I'm changing facility for warehousing and fulfillment, and I'm in the process. I'm looking at doing at moving, and he told me, look, do you want to come with us? And I was like, oh shit, you know, that's that moment where you go from shit, that's a brand that I always admired, to, well, they're the ones that are actually our partners for all this part of the business for you know, as of now. And it just felt freaking amazing. So yeah, well, first of all, I appreciate everything they do with us and everything they've been doing, helping us also, and I appreciate the friendship, and I appreciate the fact of being able to to grow that relationship with them. It's just amazing. It's an amazing brand, beautiful brand, amazing people. Yeah, and I hope that relationship is going to grow and go further. You know, you never know what happens in life. Again, some stuff just shows up and is here, and you have to take it. So that's what happened with them too, again. And yeah, I hope it's just going to go. It's, you know, going to continue growing. It has been an amazing journey with them up to now. And yeah, you know, it's a privilege and it's an honor to be able to work with Illusione, as Cavalier being a younger brand that we've been lucky enough to grow well, to get exposure, to be in, you know, in give or take 15 areas of the world now, between Asia, Africa, North America, Europe, and expanding now to Latin America. But we're still young, so being able to, you know, have a brand like this just tell you, you know, why don't you come with us and we're going to work that for you. It's like you're sitting near like, what just happened again in my life, right? So just fucking amazing.
Maybe make a cigar with him.
Illusione, as far as I know, is not much of a brand that does collaborations in terms of cigars. I think I might be wrong. Again, that's, you know, I'm not in a position where I can tell what Dion wants to do or not want or doesn't want to do. Definitely not. But you know, even just the fact of being able to share and learn and you know, exchange knowledge and being you know, having the chance to be able to maybe put the ear a little bit there and listen to some advices and some knowledge that he has is already priceless. I think it's already priceless. Him, and again, his entire team, which amazing. So who knows what the future reserves. What is sure is I did not stop smoking Illusione.
Right, the future's going good. You get all the Illusione exclusives when you don't want to smoke your stuff, huh?
I'm calling Brian. I'm like, hey, what are you hiding there? You have something old? No, yeah, no, they have, and their stuff ages really well too. So it's you know, I love smoking the F9s. I love there's Abernay's beautiful, 88, Holy Lance, the Candela is. They're one of the only companies that I believe have worked the Candela the way it should be worked. I mean, they nailed that thing in a way. It's smooth. It's silky nearly. It has that very oily, silky feel to it. It's extremely well balanced, and Candela is rough to work with. It's really it's very easy to overpower it or completely have the very green profile, and you really have to blend a very specific way around that wrapper, and not just, you can't just take the wrapper and slap it on a cigar. I mean, you might get lucky and it works, but most of the time if you slap a Candela over another, you know, binder and filler that you got together, is just not gonna do. It's really something that has to be worked. So yeah, no, it's I think an amazing blender and an amazing company, and again, you know, we're very honored to be lucky enough to have become, you know, close enough to have a part of what we do done with them.
Yep. It's funny because I mean when I see Illusione, like I automatically my brain thinks Tatuaje.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. It's weird. It's like they coexist with each other. And Pete
they
actually
have the DNA.
Pete said the exact same thing to me one day. He said that is the Candela of Candelas.
100%. There is absolutely no doubt about that. I mean, a handful of people have been able to do it interestingly and well, I think, and that again is just for what my opinion is worth on that. I mean, everybody's palate is different, but it's really what I feel about it. But theirs is, yeah, it's just an impressive way that they've been able to work with that wrapper. Just fucking crazy, impressive.
And they're not easy to get either, right? They're pretty hard to get. They're pretty hard to get.
The process is different, right? It's a process that basically pick the tobacco earlier, go to a rush process to not lose the chlorophyll, the green color basically, and everything is a little bit different. The timing. So basically, if you don't put your interest early enough, so basically you have the growing period of the end of the year somewhere, and that end of the year, if you have to have basically already expressed your interest of how much you want of it before, so that they can pick enough tobacco and go through that different and quick process so that you have it. It's not just something that, it's not, oh, I'm going to grow Candela to grow Candela. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go, you grow Habano because, well, it's Habano and everybody uses Habano. But Candela is tricky. It's, again, a very different process, and it's not something, if you're a week too late, you're a week too late. If you're a day too late, you're a day too late. You really have to go with the right flow to get it. So you have to you have to reserve it in advance. Basically, there is a couple of tobaccos like that, and Candela is part of it. Nestor, the Plasencia family is probably one of the key people, if not the key. I really believe they're, it's a family that I respect gigantically and that I appreciate it. The amazing friendship that we've been able to have with them too through the years, and but I really believe that they're the key for Candela. If you want Candela, it's. But then again, do they have some? Did you order it already enough?
Now, you think you're ever going to expand outside of Honduras, or you think you're just going to stick to your roots where you're at?
Well, see, my wife is from Honduras. My wife is from DANLI. She was born and raised there. I learned most of that time I lived in Central America, Latin America, was in DANLI. It was with ADIN. The fact when I moved there, I was 22 years old, and they opened me those doors. ADIN, the friendship with the Plasencias. I mean, they opened me those doors, and they just, they've been so kind. Honduras has been so kind to me that I don't. We've been, we thought, we looked at the market and everything, but the origin of where you produce your cigars has no real importance. What really matters is what tobaccos you can get, and that is based on who do you work with and who is basically your adoptive family. That's really what it is. That's as simple as that, basically. And for me, that the whole those entire factors are all linked to Honduras. They're all linked to ADIN PEREZ, all linked to that beautiful Plasencia family is absolutely amazing. That have been some of the kindest people I've ever met in my life to us too. My wife's roots are there, so there is I don't. And again, life might change, things might happen, but I don't see a good reason or good enough reason nowadays to go another direction about that. I think that's really, I don't know if that answers the questions. I always get lost a little bit in the thought process.
You're where you want to be. Your wife from Honduras. You got a good contact in Honduras that you became friendly with. I mean, it makes sense, But I've seen like some companies do kind of like they'll
Honduras, Nicaragua, Dominican Republic.
A darker cigar here, and in the middle cigars they'll blend them in this place. You know what I mean? You ever think you're gonna make something that's gonna be like an absolute powerhouse, or you ever think you're just gonna kind of like stick to the same like levels that you're at right now for blending?
Well, the thing is, the way I see it is, you know, if you have people blending for you, it's probably the easiest way to have partners a little bit everywhere because everybody has a different approach in terms of blending. Every blender has its own, you know, touch, like a painter, if you want, basically. But um, if and that's something that is, you know, for me is really important. When I say we blend, is we blend. We don't call someone and ask for a cigar. We, you know, we love our tobaccos. We go down there, and we're lucky enough to be able to sit down with ADIN and sit down with people like that, and bring those ideas together and sit down at the table and just take, you know, a blank notebook and start one and write, you know, wrapper that, binder that, first filler, half a leaf of that, second filler, 1/3 of a leaf of that, and this and that. Okay, let's try the first one, second what, third what, fourth what. And then once you get to the final results, making those three people, my wife, myself, and ADIN at the table, and just sitting and working and saying, hey, what about we change that Esteli for Hamastran? Well, we change that Viso Hamastran for Ligero Hamastran. What about we change, you know, we tried all the time with that Connecticut binder. Why don't we go and grab, hey, why don't we do something crazy? Why don't we grab a San Andres and put it as a binder under the Habano, you know, stuff like that. And that only happens. And that really means that I mean, we don't need to be working with different countries, different factories. We could, and it could be fun, but you don't have that liberty with everybody. That's a relationship that you grow with some people, and you can't grow it with anybody. It's not everybody's not going to say, you know what, yes, you also have your point of view, let's blend, let's work together on that tobacco. Most people are going to say, what kind of cigar do you want, you know? And that's not my way. And that I could not do that with, you know, if I go to Nika, I knock on a door, even though we know a lot of people there, I can't just go knock on the door and say, hey, let me sit at your table and use your tobaccos and I'll figure out something. It's not the way it works. In Honduras right now with ADIN, with everybody, that's how it works. We call them, we're like, hey, we're going to come down again. We need to, that's the idea of what I want to work with. Can you already get some pacas or some, you know, some galas, gavetas, some a little bit of tobacco from different kinds. And this way, just make sure make sure the fermentation is there and it's already humidified and everything a little bit so we can work when we come down. We sit down. And he's going to be like, yeah, I took everything you asked for. I also added a little bit of this and that because I figured it could be interesting to try it this way too. And you start working that way. You know, it's that exchange between people. And that is really about the relationship. And that's probably one more reason for me how to explain why it's so important to be in Honduras. And it's so important to be with the people that gave me their trust when I was not even 25 years old, you know, 22, 23 years old, when they had no reason to do so. So. Sorry, I got lost again. Yeah.
No, you're all good. Burning perfect.
That's because you know how to smoke. You're not like me.
You just powerhouse through it all.
No, yeah, every time I'm patient enough and just leave the ash, every time it ends up falling in my, you know, on my pants, and half of it goes into my pocket, and I'm like, yeah,
save it for later.
Yeah, the other day I was smoking, and you know, I don't remember what I was doing. I was probably just working on something, and I didn't pay attention. The ash just fell down on one of my favorite pants, and I'm like, it's hot. And I looked, the ash was burning a hole through the pant, burned my leg and everything with it. I was like, fuck. So I don't pay enough attention to my cigars to have such beautiful ashes.
Tattoo the diamond on your leg to cover it up.
That would be just one more tattoo, so that could be possible to do. Yeah.
I'm gonna get a message tomorrow. Yeah, I just got it.
Hey, got it. Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to. I most of my tattoos I do them in Honduras with some friends. There are tattoo artists down there, and I'm going to Honduras finally again this year. It just has made it so complicated. So we booked the flights and everything, and we're gonna stay down there quite a bit. We're gonna be down there, several sets of weeks. We have a lot of things to do, and which I'm not gonna talk about right now, but maybe next time.
Oh yeah.
And most probably, I know my wife already has her appointments with the tattoo artist, so I'm just gonna add on it. I'm gonna say, add 4 hours on the thing. I have a couple of ideas, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Last time my wife went down there without me, she came with her hand tattooed. So now I want it too.
You did it without me. You serious?
yeah. No, that's exactly it. No, she actually sent me. So she was with the friends there, the tattoo and everything, and one of them took a picture, and there are 2 or 3 tattoo artists in the studio, and she was actually doing the hand on one side and the interior of the arm on the other side at the same time with 2 tattoo artists. And you're sitting there. I was traveling with the reps with some of our reps at the time. And I was like, what? I want to get that too. Why do you do that just like that? You know, enjoying life and getting tattooed without. She never tells me anyways. But she's like, hey, I got something new. Okay, what is it? It has never been the face or the eyes yet, so we're good.
Right.
Say, if one day you see me wear sunglasses all the time, I might have done something a little crazy.
Don't do
Maybe,
it.
You know?
Don't do it.
Oh man.
Do something
you
in your beard, you know what I mean? Do something in
Wait,
your
what?
beard, that way you could hide it.
Yeah, just under here. Well, I've always been thinking, you know, I always wanted to get up to the jawline, actually tattooed all the neck up to the jawline. But I've been having now in the last, couple of years, I've had a beard all the time. So I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe one day if I shave it again, which probably won't happen because I already don't have hair anymore. So trying to keep something at least, you know, just a little bit of balance on that face.
What are you gonna do? You tattoo a beard?
Yeah, tattoo a beard. Yeah, just do the little hair. No, I was like, they're not me. I've never done geometrical stuff, but I always liked it, and I just felt like, you know, the thing that goes all the neck and just really follows the jawline is just sick. But I don't know if I'm crazy enough, and I'm definitely not crazy enough to cut my beard. So, you know, one thing left, at least a little bit of hair.
Yeah. Maybe one time you
Man.
could kidnap me and take me to Honduras with you.
And if you ever go down, or if you ever want to plan to go down, let me know. That's would be more than a pleasure to make sure that everything is properly organized and everything. I think, you know, there's a lot of options and tours and stuff, but I think the best way to discover something is no tour. It's just going down there and, you know, hanging out with people. Yeah.
Uncut. Wherever you're going, I'm going for a couple days. Maybe we do like a little, recording, you know, boom, boom, boom. Obviously, we can't show secrets, but we do a little recording, you know. Maybe we won't talk about it. We'll talk about that in private.
Oh, yeah. No, it's you know, I think tours are amazing for a lot of people because it gives you a good idea, and you might not want to go. You know, I know when I went there, I didn't even fucking know anything. I didn't even speak Spanish when I went down there, and I just said, "Hey, I have a plane ticket. Let's go." You know, but I understand most people don't want that, but it just brings so much more deepness into the experience.
How many languages you speak?
Well, French and German. Sorry.
I was gonna say you speak French. I was gonna say I feel like you have French in you.
Yeah, well, you know, Switzerland is a 4-language country, right? German, French, Italian, and Romansh. So I speak French and German, speak Spanish, and speak English. I tried Chinese when I was a kid. It didn't turn out well. I can count up to 10. I'm very proud of it. That's about it. I mean, and that's three fucking years of Chinese. What?
I said I knew you. I could tell you spoke French.
My accent's so bad. Shit. I'm gonna stop talking now.
Like if I was to meet you on the street, I would honestly think you were from Canada, because you know we don't know what Switzerland is over here like that. Like it's not like you walk up to somebody every day and you're like, "Oh yeah, you're from Switzerland." There you are. It's like no, Canada. That guy's from Canada.
Yeah, see, one of my rep, Geneva, Genève, and that's a last little thing, but that's a funny one. So Genève, I let it sitting here like the French way of seeing Geneva, right? The original way. And for some reason, people started saying Cavalier Genevieve. So they added a second V and an E in the pronunciation. So one of my reps just started shot me a text. He was doing a little cut like with some people and with a shop in his area, and he sent me a thing. He said, "I just started a new hashtag for you because our hashtag is Smoke Gold, Stay Gold, right?" And I was like, "What is it?" He's like, "Who is Genevieve?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like that one. Who is Genevieve?" I mean, yeah, man, it's rough. I mean, I should probably just change it to Geneva one day, maybe. We'll see. Probably easier for international. It is what it is. Hey, we're hitting the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna let you go chill, man. You're gonna get back to your wife, I'm sure. You gotta go get a tattoo.
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks and it's gonna be done probably, yeah. But I appreciate you having me. I appreciate you, inviting us here. I hope, let me know if you want to go to Honduras. Let's do one down there. I'll definitely give you some news as soon as we have some stuff that is official enough so I can talk about it. Getting some excitement. I'll send you a couple of things so you can make some people happy in your area. I appreciate everybody to be on too, and sorry for the 2 hours of talking.
No. You actually had a very good following. A very good amount of people stayed on and listened to the conversation. So getting the good word out there. Good brand.
See, the first 5 minutes are on me. The rest can only blame yourself about that.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to thank your wife for making a wonderful banner, helping you make a wonderful cigar. Because, this was a collab of technically, three people, right?
Technically, yeah.
Because
it depends if you count the blending. It's we go up to 4, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll say 4 people. So this cigar took a group effort. Came out absolutely phenomenal. Both of them were phenomenal to me. That's why I smoke them. But I'm going to pull you out and stay there for a couple seconds and talk to you after this.
Will do, man. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you. Well, there you have it. A great conversation with Sebastien from Cavalier Cigars. Basically 2 hours long we chatted for. Just a great guy in general. Great story. Great brand to follow. Check out Atlantic Cigars, Cigar Fed, Underground Cigars. You can buy his cigars, Sir Louis Cigars. You can buy his cigars on any of them websites. Those are all websites that I've purchased from myself. That's why I recommended those, because I trust those websites. So that's why I want you to go through stuff that you trust too. They're just great cigars. I'm smoking my second one. I'm almost done. Try them personally. Morning for the other one, night for this one, or evening. I smoke these guys back to back. Joe's in the party too. Joe, I hope you received your cigar. I know you tried them before, but I sent you both one to rewatch the podcast. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Sebastien. Thank you, Cavalier Cigars, for coming on to New England Cigar Militia Live today. And with that being said, have a good night, y'all.